Welcome back to Prediction Week. We've reached the end of the road. Still, I can't let go. And this is when things get serious. AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, and the Super Bowl. Coach Mangini has joined us. But we start today with Chris Broussard. Chris, your predictions, or as you like to call them, projections.
Yes, that's right. So just for the AFC, huh? Nick, I got some bad news for you.
What's that? You have the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are not only not reaching the Super Bowl, they are not reaching the Final Four.
Okay.
It's going to be the Bengals and the Ravens, Coach. All AFC North.
Okay.
One of them, I don't know how it'll play out in the playoffs. One of them will get the Chiefs. And the Bengals, I think you guys beat them in the regular season, but the Bengals will get revenge if you meet them in the divisional round. Or the Ravens. You know the Ravens have always played them tough. 2 years ago, they beat them 36-35. Lamar didn't even play that well, but ran for 2 touchdowns, threw for another. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Maybe they'll go 17-0, and that'll be nice, and then they get beat in the playoffs. All right, in the NFC, this will make Dustin happy. Eagles against the 49ers. Eagles prevail. I think these are obviously
What a take.
So who was I supposed to pick? The Cardinals like you did last
Well,
year?
this guy's out on a limb 20-0.
What I'm supposed to say? Eagles go 20-0?
You know what? This is why they're projections. They're all about
they're
objectivity.
factual. Right? I'm about objectivity. Okay. Look, the Eagles, I know they lost a few defensive players, but I love Jalen Carter, the rookie they added at defensive tackle. We know about their pass rush. I think they're good at all levels. And the 49ers, I don't think Brock Purdy has a fall off. I mean, he won't lead the league in passer rating, but I think he'll be effective. So I've got the Ravens and the Eagles meeting in the Super Bowl. And would love to see Lamar win it, but I'm going with the Eagles.
Wow.
I'm going with the Eagles. I think Jalen Hurts, I believe in his leadership. I don't think he'll let him have a Super Bowl hangover. I'm not saying they have the record regular season is as good as last year's, but I think they're motivated. That's what Jason Kelce only came back for the Super Bowl. I think they get it done.
I want to hear Coach's take on that, but just may I say something very quickly? It is patently ludicrous to say they are going to have the Arrowhead Invitational and not have the Chiefs in it. It's one thing to say they're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. They're not going to go to the Super Bowl every year. But they literally every year host the Arrowhead Invitational.
Is it like the World Cup? Like you can have different teams?
No, well, I don't know.
So
but
every year
it's more
Patrick
like the
Mahomes'
Masters,
career,
where it's always at
they're
Augusta.
going to make the AFC Championship.
Here's what I would tell you. Tom Brady made 8 consecutive AFC title games. It's one of the craziest feats, I think, in sports history.
Yeah.
2011 to 2018 made 8 Final Fours in a row.
The AFC wasn't as tough as this year.
What?
You guys aren't the Patriots.
Okay, well that's okay. So be it. If that's fine. But I want to know, Coach, where you stand on his Final Four and bracket.
Okay, look, I can't say there's never a doubt with prediction at all, but I see what you're saying about Kansas City. I think Kansas City is going to be in this mix.
Thank you.
I have a tough time projecting the Ravens out there. The thing with Kansas City, though, is I know Nick wants to explain away the lack of sack production, without Chris Jones, and they've got all these young guys, but, it's 1 sack every 7 games with the group that they have right now, and I guess Eric Bieniemy made no difference to Kansas City's offense at all. I guess what we're saying is Eric Bieniemy had no impact on that offense because they're still going to be as explosive as ever, and we're going to discount that, and the young receivers.
The Chiefs aren't even on this graphic, Coach.
I know.
This is Bruce.
That's the story. Why aren't they? He's telling you why they are.
This is why I can see why Chris is saying what he's saying. The problem the upside they do have is they've got Patrick Mahomes, and that's going to put him in this mix for as long as he plays every single year. They do have Andy Reid. They have the benefit of that continuity, and I think that I have a hard time with the Ravens. I'm a little bit better on the Bengals here. And in terms of the Eagles and 49ers, I think the Eagles are going to have a tougher time getting back to the Super Bowl and winning the Super Bowl than Kansas City is.
Okay, so I just want to make this very clear before I give mine. Coach totally thinks your Super Bowl is ludicrous and spent his time attacking me. He is spent his time attacking me. Coach thinks the Ravens might miss the playoffs and the Eagles are going to have a very hard time getting back, and spent all his time attacking me for mine. All right, so I'll do my AFC quickly because it's obvious. It's the GOAT and the Prince. So you have Patrick Mahomes beating Trevor Lawrence. It's what you saw in the playoffs last year. Okay, listen, guys, we don't even have to argue about it. We did it last year, and then, of course, Wilds literally bent the knee. Brou was about to, but then he was like, bugle boy, something or other. The NFC is a little less predictable. On paper, the Eagles and Niners are the cream of the crop. Okay. Games, however, Coach, as you taught me years ago, not played on paper. Cowboys Seahawks. NFC Championship game. The Cowboys. Here's a fun fact. Who are the only teams in the league to win 12 games each of the last 2 years? Oh, that's my Super Bowl. The Chiefs and the Cowboys. For all the trash we talk on the Cowboys, they have had sustained regular season success. Now, will they have postseason success? They haven't in 28 years. I think they will. And for the Seahawks, Geno Smith from 2015 to 2020 started 2 football games. I don't think we really knew how good of a quarterback he was because he started 2 football games post his first 2 years in the league and then getting his jaw broken by a teammate. Since then, he has started 20 games. He has 35 touchdowns, 11 picks, completes 70% of his passes, and a 102 rating. Last year, he led the NFL in completion percentage. He led his conference in touchdown passes. He had a better passer rating than Joe Burrow and Josh Allen. So I don't think the Seahawks were a fluke. I think, in fact, they're poised to be better because they played so many young guys. So I think they get to the conference championship game. And then we have a Chiefs-Cowboys Super Bowl. And unlike the 2007 Patriots, the Chiefs won't blow it at the very end. They will complete the undefeated season, and the Chiefs are the champions.
Solid.
Since you already ripped the Chiefs already, can you tell us about the NFC?
First of all, I really love your Seahawks pick.
Thank you.
And I would actually I would say the Seahawks, I could see them being in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I could see the Seahawks being in the Super Bowl. And they started 4 rookies last year. Geno Smith's story is incredible. I love the way he's handled his success. They had 5 picks in the top 50 of this year's draft. So they've got this influx of young talent that's now all
Russell Wilson trades, the gift that keeps on giving.
It's all now growing together. I don't mind the Dallas pick either. I think that Dallas has to have a very specific formula. They've got to run the ball, okay, and I know you hate that, but that's what's been good for Dak. Now the question is, who takes Zeke's 230 carries from last year? There's no veteran running back behind Tony Pollard. Their O-line is built to run the ball. And then it's turnovers. So they were really good at creating turnovers. Yep. Now they've got to protect the football that much better than they did last year. Obviously, Zeke's talked a lot about that. And this window for Dallas is closing because
it is.
I don't think that Dan Quinn's going to be here after this season.
Ooh.
So, I think especially if this kind of success, he's going to have his choice of jobs.
Brou, can I try to sell you on the Cowboys? They should have the number 1 defense in football. They have the guy both of us think is going to win Defensive Player of the Year in Micah Parsons. They have a diverse receiving core, 3 guys that all do different things somewhat well. Brandon Cooks can be the vertical threat that I think can help that offense. You like Tony Pollard a lot. I like him a fair amount. I think Deuce Vaughn, because he's on the Cowboys, will become something of a household name because he's a tiny guy, a rookie, a good story, and he could make some flash plays. And so I think Micah Parsons has a 20-sack season. Wow. I also think he catches a touchdown pass, a la Mike Vrabel, a la what we've seen with some of the we saw J.J. Watt catch 3 touchdown passes the year he almost won league MVP, not just Defensive Player of the Year.
McCarthy's calling Micah Parsons off
at the goal line.
Well,
I think so.
Here's the thing, and Nick, you've always
that quarterback. He does it all for Dallas.
You've always been critical of Mike McCarthy's clock management.
I don't love it.
The games.
I don't love it.
And you're right, rightly so. You've been critical of it, and I think that, Coach, that can be the difference between winning a big playoff game and losing one. I still have questions, obviously, about Dak. All right, and we'll get to the Cowboys a little bit later, but Seattle, Geno was great early on in the season. I'm still not convinced he's going to back that up. Last 5 games, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, completion percentage plummeted, and these were games they needed.
Yep.
I think they went 3-5 over their last 8. Now, I know they got some good players in the offseason, but I'm not convinced Gino's going to be able to follow this up.
Wilds,
Yes, I'm ready.
really?
Yes,
We
because
have
people
1
have been-
hour left.
You about
in
to make some
prediction
predictions?
week. Are you going to do
Wow.
your picks?
People have
I
been
didn't
waiting and waiting, and in the comments and mailing me letters saying, "Wow, where are your predictions?" And I wanted to save the best for last.
Wow.
I didn't want to sprinkle them out. I wanted to give them to you here. In the AFC, everybody knows that I'm a Chiefs guy.
Oh my! You waited all week just to pick the Chiefs.
What do you want me to do?
You waited all
Abandon
week
the Chiefs?
just to pick the Chiefs.
I was a big hit at the parade.
You were.
I was a big hit.
You were.
I also, until the Patriots can beat the Bills, I have to bend the knee to Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Bills. I would love to have the Patriots beat the Bills, and I think the Patriots will still sneak in, but we can't beat you guys. So I see them rolling, but I still have the Chiefs winning. Then, in the NFC, have I been influenced?
What?
Vikings.
Have I been influenced by watching quarterback ad nauseum at my home? Yes. But why weren't the Vikings any good? It's because Kirk Cousins needs 8 yards and he throws it 4 yards for the final play of the game? Yeah, that's one of the reasons. The other reason is because they have a horrendous defense. Well, guess who showed up? Brian Flores. So I think Brian Flores is going to immediately fix that defense. I still gave the nod to the Eagles, even though, Coach, I think they talk too much about the turf, and they've got to focus more on the rearview mirror instead of what's ahead of them. Luckily, I kind of agree with Broussard that I think Jalen Hurts just continues to get better each year. So they get to the NFC Championship but lose to the Vikings. Then finally, and this is a surprise, going to go out on a limb here, my champion is the Kansas City.
You're unbelievable.
What do you want me to do?
This guy is
The 90
unbelievable.
Bulls. Root against them.
That's my take.
Wow.
That's my take.
You convinced me. What's the point of all of this? Are you just trying to get my vote? You got it. You're out there campaigning ad nauseum, and I'm like, you got my vote. Like, I don't want your vote. You need a different platform.
He did kill Broussard on his take, and then he came out with that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're good.
Yes.
They're a good team.
I mean, right. I'm Mr. Obvious. I'm Captain Obvious. And you pick the Chiefs?
I also have to reveal a tattoo that coming up next.
Look at what they're going to say.
That's me. That's me right there.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.